If we lost you, caller, just hang up and please try to call again, because that happens on occasion, and we'll pick them up again. But so who are some of the? Because I know that you have a lot of celebrities that have done the cards over the years. Some of the celebrity gals.
One thing that just came to mind that I want to say that's actually a little sad, but we just lost one of the greatest American pinups of the world, Betty. Betty Page just passed away. Page. And the reason why it's relevant is because we did actual, authentic Betty Page Benchwarmer trading cards with her signature.
You're kidding.
In 2006.
Did you meet her?
I did not meet her, but the representative from CMG, which is their agency, who's actually was a good friend of hers and a good friend of mine.
Now we got the call. Hold on, let me try and bring it in here. Hey there, caller. You on the air with Brian Wallace and Candace Kita. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Hi.
Thanks for calling.
Good. Thank you. Yes, actually, I wanted to know because I've just gotten into modeling. I'm starting that now, and I love the Benchwarmer trading cards. And I was just wondering, how would I even get involved with Benchwarmer modeling? How do I get involved with being a model for the Benchwarmer cards?
That's a good question.
Awesome.
We got the man here. Let's find out.
It's very easy. It starts off with emailing us pictures. If you know one of the girls, it's always a better way to find us. But just email pictures to info@benchwarmer.com.
All right, fair enough.
Very cool. And then you and your associates look over the pictures.
I mean, honestly, we're getting 2 to 3 submissions a day now. It's from all over the world, the country, and obviously girls in California have a little bit of an advantage because we're based here.
Right.
I mean, we can't really pay for the expenses, but a lot of girls have flown in for it just to do it.
Oh, that's right. Because last time I shot, somebody flew in from Florida.
Yes.
The girl that I was working with.
And they like to, and I try to tie, they always have some business they could do out here or they're visiting friends, and we try to time it.
Yeah, you can write the whole trip off.
Who was it? She was a playmate. Do you know who I'm talking about? She's blonde, she was a playmate, and she's from Florida, and she flew out.
Was she from Arkansas? Holly?
Oh, maybe it was Arkansas.
Yeah.
And she came out, and so I said, "Oh, that's great that you're flying out."
A lot of the Playboy playmates are not living in L.A. these days. I've noticed. They've had to fly in to sign the cards.
Do the gals give these cards out at conventions? Are they great for signing and whatnot?
Yeah, Candace just.
Oh yeah, I just took some just now, and I love to sign them. And there's so many collectors. If I go to an event, people are coming specifically for specific cards for their collections, like Brian was saying. I think a lot of it, like you said, kids don't collect them so much, but there's a nostalgia aspect to it when you are a man, 20 or 30 years old, and you remember collecting baseball cards, and you remember collecting football cards, and so now you're collecting these cards, and they're themed. I mean, we have a lot of soccer, football. What are some of the other themes?
Or even you had a patriotic theme, boot camp. We've got holiday. We did Halloween. We do all kinds of themes.
You did tropical.
Yeah.
Are your friends envious of you? Because I know I am.
Yeah, it's funny because I keep getting, now with Facebook, I keep getting all these people from 20 years ago from high school contacting me.
Who didn't talk to you at the time.
Yeah,
and they didn't know what you were doing until now.
Nice life you've created for yourself. But, yeah, I mean, it wasn't... more so than the girls, it's about being an American entrepreneur is what I love
Absolutely.
about it. I mean, seriously, it's more about creating something on your own is really what makes it more fun for me. Yeah, the beautiful women is great too, but that's not why I got into this. As ridiculous as that sounds, that is not why I do this. It's just it's mine. It's like my art form, making these cards, picking them, designing them.
Yeah, and knowing Brian, that is true. I think that he's obsessed, and he's a workaholic, and he's a perfectionist, and he works on these all the time, and he's really built a company from the ground up, from nothing to what it is today. The offices, it's beautiful penthouse on Sunset Boulevard, and all these great parties, and just bringing the girls together, and it is like a sorority. Everybody knows everybody, and it's really cool. It's kind of a family type feeling that he's created with this, but yet it's a business,
right?
But yet there's this element of just everybody knowing.
It means a lot to me because I sometimes wonder what if there was no Benchwarmer. In other words, a lot of girls tell me when they go on castings, when you girls go on these cattle call castings where there's 10 girls waiting in the waiting room and 6 of them are Benchwarmers, and that's the common thing that binds them.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time, and it makes me feel great, and that's why. Reputation really is everything. In that book, the 40 Laws of Power, guard your reputation with your life because people are going to talk. They're going to talk. They're either going to talk, good or they're going to talk bad. And sure, we haven't pleased everybody, but we try to run everything straight up and fair.
Yeah, and I run into Benchwarmer girls all the time. I did the Miss Hawaiian Tropic a couple of years ago. There were a lot of Benchwarmer girls there, and we go to castings. There's Benchwarmers everywhere I go, basically. We all catch up, and it's kind of like a time that we get together and just see what we're all doing in each other's lives.
Now, do any girls ever ask for you to make a mistake on purpose on their card, so it's like, ooh, it's the one where the hand's
it's
backwards?
The rare card.
Rare card.
You know, in the days of baseball cards, there was actually you want to hear a funny story? There was the famous Billy Ripken 89 Fleer card. Okay, so you know
Billy Ripken, great Oriole players, brother of Cal Ripken.
Yes,
Hall of Famer.
What someone maliciously did was write a slanderous term on the bottom of his bat knob.
Oh
Yes.
no, so he didn't know.
FF. That's all I'm going to say. And, and he went and took his picture for the photographer.
Oh no!
And it was clear as day on his Fleer baseball card.
Yeah.
And I was in '89. How old was I? I don't know, 20. And that card got out
for a little bit.
Talk about bad for kids. I mean, that's
right.
a lot worse than a picture of a beautiful girl in a bikini. But anyway, that card got out for a little while, and it was selling for well over $100. The cases were selling for thousands of dollars, and I was a baseball card dealer at the time. And it's a great story. And then all of a sudden, they made one with a scratch out. They made them with a block out. It was a big PR. And to this day, no one knows if it was done on purpose or not.
I'm sure it was probably done on purpose by his friends. Like, we're going to set him up.
It was like a joke, yeah.
But did the company Fleer, who's out of business now, did they allow it to get out on purpose?
So
they probably didn't notice it.
You were a card dealer, so obviously the line to
There's a segue
Benchwarmer,
too.
yeah, it makes sense.
I was waiting. I had pre-ordered. In those days, the Fleer brand was like a rarer brand, and I had pre-ordered some cases, and I remember I was praying that they were going to be the early cases, and they were, and that was like a huge score at the time.
Let me ask you this, just out of baseball card memories. Were the cards from the Wheaties that were like holograms? Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Did those value ever do good, or?
I mean, I don't know exactly, but yeah, I mean, everything has value.
Right.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing about collectibles: things that were thrown away have more value. And the old saying is true: one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Which is why I thought maybe the Wheaties one, like, oh, it's just a cereal box, and I
mean. They used to make RC Cola cans with baseball players on them, and to this day, the cans that still have the soda that are unopened are, of course, worth more than the cans that were open.
And we all know the most famous baseball card of all, the Hannes Wagner.
Right.
Is it a tobacco? Is it a tobacco company?
It's a T206. That is the most valuable. It's been owned by Wayne Gretzky. It's been owned by many celebrities. I think the one coming up now is going to be going for $2 million. When I started collecting
card,
yes,
and just so you know the history of that card. When I started collecting, that card was in the price guide for $15,000 when I was a kid.
Wow!
And the reason why that card is worth I'm not that knowledgeable on the records of Honus Wagner, but he was a great baseball player. But that's not why the card is worth money. The reason why the card is worth money is because he was against smoking,
right?
And he demanded that the cigarette company in the early 1900s, baseball cards came with cigarettes, and he demanded that they stop printing his card, and a few got out. Like 50 of them, so to speak.
Right.
And that is the rarest baseball card of all time.
$2 million. Who would buy it? Like the Smithsonian or?
Well, collectors
now
hoping
it's an
it'll
ego
go up.
thing.
Yeah, it's an ego. I have it. I have the Hannes Wagner card.
If I had the money, I would buy it. I mean, that because it's legit. I mean, that thing is never going. It's going to go up